Wrist with hand control is the most important factor in an arm wrestling match. Taking the wrist of an opponent is considered to be the ultimate winning move, and once you lose your wrist and hand, you tend to lose the match in the highest plausible manner. Still, there is a breed of elite arm wrestlers who actually give away their wrist to transition their outside maneuverability into a tricep press. With the emergence of an evolved King's move under the bone lock of various seasoned arm wrestlers like Michael Todd and Devon Larratt, flop wrist press, tricep press, shoulder press, or simply pressing in a hook are the options pro arm wrestlers can't do without. Ermes Gasparini and Vitalii Laletin have recently exhibited the importance and essentiality of this move in the current arm wrestling scenario. Here is a list of the top 10 arm wrestlers who does this move better than the rest and are considered to be the best pressers by arm wrestling critiques. Number 10. ANDREY PUSHKAR. Upper body strength with a height advantage gave ANDREY an edge over his opponents in the setup itself. Though he was not technically very efficient with his press, his shoulder strength mixed with his wrist flexion made him a considerably good presser in his time. Number 9. Dave CHAFFEE. The easy money has started to encash his pressing abilities very late in his career. Relying mostly on his otherworldly side pressure, Dave uses his press as his last resort. He presses his opponents with his shoulder and tricep while completely devoiding his chest engagement from his lats. Most of the time, his transition from side pressure to shoulder press results in fouls, but when he executes his press, he makes sure to keep his wrist intact with a smooth downward thrust. Number 8. TALGAT AKTAEV. This Kazakh arm wrestler is a specimen of how to execute a perfect shoulder press with an amazing ability to supinate and attack the pronator of his adversary. TALGAT literally hammer curls his hand down to pin his opponent with his chest, shoulder and tricep engaged. He positions himself behind his arm before ready go, aiming to use his body weight and upper body strength to force his opponent's arm to the pin pad. Number 7. David RANDALL. Probably one of the early established pressers, Dave RANDALL is considered to possess the best shoulder press technique of all time. He used his press as a finishing move after he established his hook deep inside. Using his huge upper body to press down his opponent's arm, Dave was effectively quick during his transition from a hook to a shoulder-propelled press. Number 6. John BRZENK. There is not going to be an arm wrestling countdown where John is not in the top 10 list. The perfect storm has mastered every technique there is on the table. He can hook better than he top rolls. He can top roll better than he presses, and so on and so forth. John's ability to press comes from a reserve for neutral or advantageous position in order to finish his opponent. He often transitions to a press from a conclusive top roll where he is unable to finish an extended outside defense. Unlike RANDALL or CHAFFEE, John deliberately loses his wrist to engage his pronator and shoulder for pressing down with his tricep. Number 5. Michael Todd. Over the period of time during his long career, Michael has established himself as a full-time King's mover now. He knows how to perform the open arm top roll better than almost every arm wrestler on the planet. Hence, it is obligatory for him to learn the antidote of this move. After Jerry CADORETTE, Michael is probably the fastest in executing a shoulder press. While everyone else transitions from a top roll to a press, he seems to be the first one to transition from a press to an extended arm top roll, if not successful. Michael's intense training regimen has given his shoulders and triceps incredible strength to bury his opponent's arm on the pin pad in the blink of an eye. Number 4. RINO. Being called a perfect successor to the legacy of John BRZENK, At 20 years of age, RINO is probably the youngest prodigy to possess the versatility of a seasoned pro. While his stance in a setup resembles late ANDREY PUSHKAR, his press is a mixture of TALGAT AKTAEV and Dave RANDALL. From a fully supinated inside shoulder press to a completely outward flop wrist press, this superstar of an arm wrestler transitions almost seamlessly in the varied techniques of this move. Though he got injured during his last performance against Ibrahim Sagov, RINO's technical superiority was quite evident when he pressed and top rolled his way towards victory even after losing 2 initial rounds. Number 3. Ermes Gasparini. With number 3, we have reached the realm of specialists who display complete authority over this move with precise technical maneuverability and full commitment. One such name is Armwrestling Gasparini. From his very first encounter with mighty TODD to the recent clash with his evolved defensive bone lock, Ermes has laid forth a blueprint of how to execute a supremely effective flop wrist press. Defeating giants like Dave CHAFFEE, Vitalii Laletin and Michael TODD with this move, Gasparini has certainly demonstrated his mastery over it. Being an established top roller, Ermes can use both versions of the press equally well. He can execute a shoulder press with his wrist intact as good as a flop press without his wrist. The minute adjustments he does before getting in position to press his opponents are worthy of being shown during an arm wrestling masterclass. Number 2. KAMIL JABLONSKI. After absolutely destroying the legend Devin Larratt 6 times with his crushing dead wrist press, the golden dragon of arm wrestling KAMIL JABLONSKI has gained a status of an elite presser quite early in his career. Press being his primary weapon, KAMIL uses this technique to its full potential with the help of his huge upper body and immense pushing power. For a hooking press, he gets behind his shoulder pretty quickly after the ready go and dominates the pronator of his adversary with his supinated arm and crushes their riser under his steel-like cupping ability. Whereas he uses his amazingly developed tricep, chest and lat muscles to push his opponent down in a flop press, completely losing his wrist in the process. Side pressure being a crucial part in KAMIL's training, his execution of the press in all its technical aspects is absolute and prolific at the same time. A few honorable mentions before we hit the number 1 spot in this category. Devin Larratt, Vitalii Laletin, Ramon Lipin, Yanis Amolens,
Gennady Kvikwinia,
Levan Saginashvili. Number 1. Jerry CADORETTE. If there is one athlete synonymous with press, then it is unquestionably Jerry CADORETTE. Perfecting his press for more than 25 years, Big Daddy not just uses this move, but uses this move only. With the upper body strength of a silverback gorilla, Jerry has crushed legends like John BRZENK, Travis Bagent, Ron Bath, Tim Bresnan, Cleve Dean and Devin Larratt under his perfect press. Jerry's press is a notch superior to all the other pressers in this countdown. He uses every possible technique involved while pressing with maximum efficiency and supreme confidence in his craft. Using pronation to defend against his opponent's cup, with hand control in a dead wrist press, Jerry pushes the opponent's arm inside of their shoulder to break their angle, while slowly pushing it towards the pin pad. If you like my content and love arm wrestling, then like, share and subscribe. Keep healthy, keep hustling. This is Nitin Vats signing off.